Have you ever thought about going to therapy but didn't know where to start? Hi everyone, I'm Nora, the blind therapist, and today I have a video for you all on how to pick the right therapist. Now, so far I've given you guys several videos on different therapeutic treatments, how to spot the issues that you might be having and how to treat those issues. But then the question becomes, okay, I've decided to start therapy. How do I find one? How do I search for one? How do I know what to expect? How do I know when I have a good one? Now, if any of these questions resonate with you, trust me, you are not alone. It can be a very confusing and frustrating topic, and it's very common. In fact, it's so common that one of my initial questions in an intake interview in a first session with a client is, what are your expectations of therapy, or what do you know about therapy? What are you thinking about? And we'll go from there. What are they expecting from this first session and future sessions? So therapy is not one size fits all. So what may work for me may not work for you or someone else. We are spending 1 hour a week with this person, and while that may not seem like a lot initially, it can build up over time if we're seeing this person regularly. And we are sharing our most vulnerable, intimate, and emotional parts with this person. And we want to make sure that that therapeutic relationship and connection is there. Fit and trust are key. Research has shown that the therapeutic relationship is the most important thing that contributes to the success of therapy. So it doesn't matter if you find a therapist that is the most knowledgeable, has all the big degrees, uses all the right tools and techniques and interventions, but if the relationship isn't there, if the connection isn't there, then it will not work. First, ask yourself, what am I seeking therapy for? What am I trying to treat? Is it anxiety, depression, trauma, ADHD, or relationship issues? Different therapists have different specialties, just like there are different doctor specializations. You wouldn't see an ophthalmologist if you were having pain in your feet. Would you like to do in-person or online therapy? Also, payment. How would you like to pay? Would you like to use your insurance? And then you would have to find a therapist who takes your insurance. Or are you willing to, or are you able to do private pay? And always, always make sure that the therapist that you want has availability. There are several different resources to search for a therapist. There's Psychology Today, there's Therapy Den, and if you reach out and call your insurance company, they will give you a list of referrals, and then it comes down to calling them up, asking them questions, kind of vetting them to see if they would be a right fit. Now, Psychology Today is great, and it can sort of look like a dating profile. You can filter out therapists by area that they practice, different treatments that they use, insurances that they accept. And honestly, sometimes finding a therapist can feel like dating because it's a lot of trial and error, and sometimes you have to try different ones out before you find the right fit. I will give you a very brief overview of what these are. So, LMFT, or Licensed Marriage and Family Therapist, is what I am. An LPCC is a licensed professional clinical counselor. An LCSW is a licensed clinical social worker. And a psychologist is a PhD or doctorate holder. But honestly, when it comes down to clinical and therapy work, we can all do that. Trust me, I get it. As someone with ADHD, I would much rather not read through a whole bunch of bios, a whole bunch of long paragraphs. I would much rather sit down with someone, talk to them, get to know them, see if we vibe together. But really what you're looking for here is more tone, approach, specialty, seeing if any of that resonates with you and what you're looking for. At this point, you may have done all the searches. You may have done your research on all these different therapists. You may have even called them up, done a few phone consultations, asked some questions, and now you have an intake interview scheduled, the first session. Now, how do you know if you found a good one? Well, the very simple answer is you will feel it. Maybe not right away, but after a few sessions, you should be able to feel if this is the right fit or not. And if you're not feeling it, it might be a good idea to move on. But if you are, then great. You got it on the first try. Good job. But if you're still not sure, here are some other things to look for. Keep in mind that you are going to be spending an hour a week with this person, and you are going to be sharing your most vulnerable emotions and feelings with them. You are going to want to pick someone that you can feel truly heard and understood and accepted. Therapy is a two-way street. Yes, therapy is very client-centered, and yes, this is your hour to talk and vent about and explore whatever you want to, but you also want to choose a clinician that works in ways that you read about, that you are looking for, and that would be the most effective for you. Again, therapy is a two-way street, and it should be collaborative. So early on, your therapist should establish with you therapeutic goals, what you guys want to work on, and make sure throughout to continually check in and make sure you guys are on the right track and you guys are getting to where you need to be. Your therapist should be your teammate and your partner working on your personal therapeutic goals. The therapeutic relationship is one of warmth and connection. It is good when your therapist is friendly, but we are also not friends. The therapeutic relationship should be a professional one. While we care about our clients, and for that entire hour, it is all about our clients, it is important to not blur those lines outside of therapy. That would be unethical. In life, we are going so fast. We are doing our thing, whether that be school, work, raising a family, what have you. But in our therapy session, in that 1 hour that is just for us, we are slowing it way down. We are working on our issues one by one, and we are making progress. Sometimes it might be slow, sometimes it might be little by little, but we are making progress. And you can feel that progress. And it is very important that your therapist is checking in on you regularly to make sure you are making that progress. The therapeutic space feels like one of connection and comfort, and it should also be safe and secure. You should be able to feel like you can talk to your therapist about anything. Now, therapists are human too. We are not perfect. Far from it. We make mistakes, and if we make a mistake for any reason at all, you should be able to feel like you can bring it up to us. And together, we will work on it, we will discuss it, and we will together come up with a solution. Now, we are going to talk about some red flags or some things to watch out for when searching for a therapist. Now, just like any other profession where there are so many practitioners, there are going to be some good therapists and some bad ones. Now, here are some things to watch out for. There is something in therapy called self-disclosure, and it is fine when it is done wisely, when it will help the client, and when it will help the connection, the therapeutic relationship. But when the therapist makes the session all about themselves, they might not be a great therapist. So therapists are more like guides on your own mental health journey. What we do is we listen to you, we validate you, we explore, and we help you work on your issues. Therapists never give advice. They never tell you what to do, and if they do, red flag. It is important that a therapeutic relationship feels friendly and connected. But remember, we are not friends, we are professional, and we are there to help you on your mental health journey and your struggles. If the therapeutic relationship feels a little bit too casual and like we are just chatting or catching up or just shooting the breeze, so to speak, that may not be true therapy. On the other side of that same coin, while you might not want to have full-on conversations or discussions between sessions, your therapist should still be available to you. If they aren't answering your questions between sessions, even if it's just a short little quick question about scheduling or anything like that, then that may not be good either. So therapy is definitely not one size fits all, and not all sessions are going to look the same. However, therapy should have some sort of structure. You should know what direction you're going in. You should know what to expect, what you're working on, what you're doing. If you leave a session confused, unheard, and unsupported, red flag. So just to add a little caveat, you can probably tell that I do not really like bad therapists. Again, with any field where there's so many different practitioners, there are going to be good ones and there are going to be bad ones. But I love this field. I love being a therapist, and I have a lot of pride in it. I pride myself on being a really good therapist, and being as ethical as I can and doing the best work and holding my clients above all else. So when I see practitioners that are not doing that, it really rubs me the wrong way. Not every therapist is going to fit with every client, but when you do find the right one, hold on to that one. Also, trust your intuition. That first session is rough for both sides. I'm going to let you in on something. So, it's still rough and awkward and nerve-wracking, even for me, and for other colleagues that I've heard from. And I've been doing this for over 5 years. But during that first session, you never really know if you're going to vibe or work well with this person. So maybe after the first session, if it's not feeling great, maybe stick with it for a few sessions. But after a few sessions, if it's still not feeling good, then I do encourage you to move on and keep looking. Therapy is a partnership. And when you do find the right therapist, it can change everything. I would like to interact with you guys in the comments. I want to hear about your guys' experiences with finding a therapist. What worked for you and what didn't? As always, like this video and subscribe to my channel to get more mental health content. And click on that notification bell so you never miss my new video releases. Bye everyone, and I can't wait to meet you.